Hello Disney fans! If you know me personally or if you've seen some of my other reviews, you know my all-time favorite Disney movie is Beauty and the Beast. It's an absolute classic. It's gorgeous animation, beautiful story, great songs, wonderful characters that are going to stay with you. There's a reason this was the first animated movie to be nominated for the Academy Award for Best Picture. This is just there's not enough good things to say that I could say about this movie and get on with talking about Beauty and the Beast, the Enchanted Christmas. You would think since I love the original so much that I would love Enchanted Christmas. Well, Enchanted Christmas has its really wonderful points and it has its really horrible points. And I'm going to get into just what those points are as I tell the story. In fact, that's how this movie starts out, is with everybody you know from the original, now in their human form, celebrating Christmas together, and they look back on the previous year's Christmas, and there's some debate among them over who saved that year's Christmas. Lumiere and Cogsworth go to Mrs. Potts and they ask her to tell the story. Well, it starts out just after the beast saved Elf from the wolves. He's out for a walk around the castle grounds, and that's where things get started. The beast is clearly embarrassed by his fall, but rather than laugh, Belle takes him by the hand and says, "I'll teach you how to skate. Come on, let's try it like this." And things start to go well for them. It's actually what you would hope to see in the Beauty and the Beast movie, the two of them spending time together and clearly caring about each other. But there's a problem. This film has to have a villain, of course. And it wouldn't do to have Gaston as a villain because he doesn't believe yet that the beast is real. All he knows is that Maurice came into the tavern saying that there was a beast, and he dismissed the idea, thinking Maurice was crazy. In fact, Gaston was going to use that to further his own scheme. Well, Gaston isn't in this movie because it wouldn't match up with the plot of the original. If he showed up at the castle and had anything at all to do with any of them, it wouldn't line up. So they can't include him, but this villain doesn't line up all that much better. The villain in this movie is Forte, a pipe organ, who used to be the court composer. Now, when I saw that there was a organ or piano in the live-action Beauty and the Beast, my first thought was, don't have him be this character. Don't have him be this character. And it doesn't take long to see that Forte is pure evil. He's even designed to be evil. The look of him.
Humanity is entirely overrated. Before the enchantments, there was no need for my particular brand of genius.
Forte doesn't look like anything else in this film. You greedy? Hello. Oh, it's okay, Marty. Dee can come up by me. It's okay. Yes, it's okay if she does. My little dog, Marty, he gets a bit jealous sometimes, but I love both you guys. I do. Yes, I do. Now, as I was saying, there's something clearly wrong with Forte's design. He's not animated like any other character in this movie. He's the only computer animated character. And that was a deliberate choice on their part to make him look off. Like there's something. He's not different the way the Beast is different. He's different in the way somebody who sends off warning vibes to stay away is different. This guy is creepy and there's no denying that. Now, it was a brilliant creative choice to use that to set him apart from the other characters, but I'm wondering if they took that too far, if that choice worked too well for them. I'm thinking it did, because this is nightmare fuel, beyond what should be in a Disney movie. He's just plain creepy. And now, you might be wondering who that little guy is with him, that little Fife. Well, that's Fife, and he is his lackey, his version of LeFou. He does whatever Forte wanted to because his goal is to get a solo that Forte supposedly composed for him. Now, he's just kind of an annoying character, and he's not laughable the way LeFou is. He's not comic relief. He's somebody who actually does end up causing harm over the course of the movie. And I didn't really care for him from the start, and him being voiced by Paul Reubens probably doesn't help. Paul Reubens, for those of you who've never heard of him, yeah, no, okay. Paul Reubens, for those of you who haven't heard of him, was the voice of Pee Wee Herman. And I was never a Pee Wee Herman fan as a kid. Now, Forte doesn't want Belle to break the curse because he likes being the way he is. As you heard him say, humanity's overrated, and he wants to be the way he is so that the beast will rely on him, the way he never has before. So he's not too happy that Belle is planning to bring Christmas back to the castle.
Do I get one? Of course. Everyone gets a present on Christmas. Oh, even the master? Yes, even the master.
Belle isn't quite sure what to give the beast for Christmas, but Chip asked her what her favorite thing is, which is of course her books. The beast gave her an entire library in the original, and it isn't quite clear in this movie just where exactly it fits in the timeline. It's obviously after she's been saved from the wolves by the beast, but before the ballroom scene. And there's a montage, not exactly a montage, but there's a clip in the original with the song Something There that shows how they gradually become closer after he gives her his library. So I'm not quite sure where this falls in that timeline, if he's given her the library already or not. But she decides to give him a special book, one that she wrote herself for him. And this gives us my favorite part of the movie, and this is definitely a song that's worthy of being in a Beauty and the Beast movie. This song gives us why books are so important to Belle and why she wants to share that with the Beast. She's always wanted to see the world. Books have taken her to places she could never go on her own. And she wants to share all that those stories bring her with the Beast. They bring her hope. She says how he'll find the strength to face tomorrow. And the lyrics to the song also show just how much she's come to care for him. She wants him to have more than a physical gift. She wants him to have what Christmas means to her. It's a season of hope, and she brings that up several times, how she's not going to give up. And in this case, she's not giving up trying to reach through to him, to let him know that she does care. And that's already progress that we didn't quite get to see enough of in the original. In the original, we see where he saves her from the wolves. You have something there which shows them getting closer. It shows clips of it that take place over what I'm guessing to be several weeks. There isn't really a defined timeline in how long the story takes. Can't be too long though because Maurice is in the woods. So that's another problem with this movie is just how long into the relationship is this. But in any event, this adds something to show how they are becoming closer. It isn't just all of a sudden. It spaces it out a bit more than the original movie did. So that's a point of this movie's favor. In fact, I'm going to start keeping a naughty and nice list. One naughty list point for having Forte, two nice list points for showing us more of how the relationship builds, and for an awesome song. The humor in here isn't the greatest, although there is one joke that I actually like. When Cogsworth protests that they can't have Christmas because the beast has forbidden it.
He's right. It's not fair.
Some wine glasses.
Sorry.
Wine glasses. I thought that was pretty creative. I kind of like that joke. Now, I'm not sure whether to give a naughty or a nice point for the humor in here overall, because there's a lot of humor that's kind of meh. I don't know whether to give a naughty or nice point for the animation either, because at some points it's gorgeous. They have amazing backgrounds. When Chip goes on the tile floor, you can see his reflection, and it actually looks like a reflection. So for a direct-to-video, those parts are actually pretty well animated, and obviously they put thought into how they animated Forte. Even if I don't agree with that choice, it was a bold move, and I'll give him kudos for it. But at the same time, earlier on and in the end segments, when we see everyone in their human forms, they don't look the way they were animated in the original. I mean, it's clearly them, you can recognize all the characters, but the animation almost looks Saturday morning cartoonish, and you'll see that at the end. So, those cancel each other out on the naughty and nice list. So far we got one naughty, two nice. Now, they can't have Christmas without decorations. And the way they plan to get the decorations is with the help of another of Lumiere's girlfriends, Angelique, who has been turned into a Christmas angel.
Lumiere, finally. I thought we were to be locked away in this dusty attic forever.
Ah, Angelique, mon amour.
You might be wondering what happened to the feather duster, who's Lumiere's girlfriend in the original, and she's known as either Babette or Plumette, depending on whether you're going by the Broadway version or the live-action version of this story. Well, she's in here too, and she's seen singing during the song where they decorate the castle. Which means either Lumiere's flirting with his old girlfriend here, or he's got two girlfriends going on at once. The way Lumiere's shown in the first one, that wouldn't surprise me if he was playing them both. So, I'm just gonna leave that for them to work out in the story. Now, they do a pretty good job getting everything done. Belle still has to go get a tree. But meanwhile, we learn why the Beast hates Christmas. That was the day he was transformed. Kind of makes sense. The original says that he was transformed when he didn't allow the elderly lady who turned out to be the Enchantress into the castle on a stormy winter night. So it could have happened at Christmas. That kind of matches up with the timeline. And we get to actually see when the Beast was transformed.
You have been deceived by your own cold heart. A curse upon your house and all within it.
This scene gets both a naughty and a nice point for me again. Naughty because they make a mistake about the original. The original made it clear in the opening narration that the Enchantress actually asked the prince twice if he would give her shelter from the storm. She gave him two chances, and after he blew the second chance, that's when she transformed him. This film shows him one chance, he's done. It does get, I'm going to say, a nice point for answering a question. When it shows everybody else transformed, it shows Chip as a young boy transformed with them. Now, there were a lot of questions raised by the lyrics in Be Our Guest in the original. For 10 years, we've been resting. Chip doesn't seem like he's 10 years old yet, so it raised the question, was he born a teacup? Has he never been a boy? Well, this answers, yeah, he was already a human boy when he was transformed. So, that does also raise another question, though. Were they frozen in time? I'm going to go with yes, because I'm going by the live action version kind of hinted that things had been frozen for a while in time. So I'm going to go with that answering that question. Yes, Chip was already born. Yes, they were frozen in time. Now, we know why the Beast hates Christmas, but that doesn't stop Belle from trying to give him a gift.
It's for you, Master. It's from a girl. Mrs. Potts?
The Beast doesn't even figure that Belle could have been the one to give him the gift. Because he doesn't. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny or sad that he. I get it's supposed to be meant as a joke, but the fact that he doesn't even have any hope that Belle would give him a gift, I find that on the sad side. And in the fact that hello, Dee Dee, come on, kitty, 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 coming back over. Oh, you can put up with her. Yeah. I get that it's supposed to be funny that he doesn't get that Belle would give him a gift. Oh, you came back, huh? Yeah. But it's also a little sad that he doesn't figure that Belle would give him a gift. Yeah. And if you've been watching my other videos, you know I'm a huge fan of Once Upon a Time, and in this, the Beast reminds me of the version of him in that show, Rumpelstiltskin, who doesn't believe that he can be loved, which is, it's really sad that they don't even have the hope of being loved, that they don't believe they can be. By the way, I am filming this on December 21st, which, according to the Once universe, is Rumpel's birthday, so I gotta say happy birthday to my favorite character in Once. I'm sorry if it makes me weird, but I can't help it. Happy birthday, Rumpel. You deserve it for all the crap you get in that show. Meanwhile, Belle is still out trying to get a Christmas tree. And they haven't found the right one on the castle grounds. They're all either, spindly, missing branches, growing to one side. They're not what they want for a Christmas tree, and Chip's being especially picky about that. Well, they finally get to the last tree on the castle grounds, and they figure, okay, it's this one or nothing. And that's when Forte lures them away, first with his own music, and then with Fife having a whistle that calls the dog.
Sultan, wait!
Put on the nice list for them actually remembering to give the dog a name. It was written in companion books that went along with the movie at the time, like Golden Book stories, that kind of thing. But they never used Sultan's name in the movies until now, so given a nice list point for that one. Gotta give the dog some love, at least give him a name. Now, Belle goes to see Forte, lured in by the music and following Sultan, and she's told, oh, go out further to the woods to get a tree. The Beast won't mind. The tree was always his favorite part of Christmas. You gotta get a nice one. So she leaves to go get a really nice Christmas tree. Meanwhile, the Beast comes and he wants to give. They really should give the Beast a name too. I know his name is Prince Adam because I've read pretty much everything to do with Beauty and the Beast, but I mean, they could have said it at some point during this movie, since the opening and ending take place after they're back to being human again. So, yeah, come on, guys, use his name. So at this point, he's known as the Beast, of course, and he comes to get Forte to write a Christmas song for Belle. The result is the creepiest version of Deck the Halls you will ever hear.
You're not singing. Deck the halls with boughs of holly.
I'm giving 2 naughty list points, 1 for ruining the song, and 2 for scaring the crap out of kids who are going to be watching this. I mean, yeah, this is just wrong to hear that song that way. Now, the Beast is waiting for Belle to come hear it, and he sends the others to go get her. Well, of course, Belle isn't in the castle. This leads to an attempt at humor in the movie.
Trying to distract me.
Goodness, no, sir. Heavens, is that a yellow-bellied, double-breasted sapsucker? Rare this time of year.
Mrs. Potts using the most obvious attempt at distraction ever while trying to deny trying to distract him is, well, on second thought, it's not too bad a humor. Yeah, no, I won't give it a naughty or a nice point. I'll just say it's an okay joke. Of course, they have to tell the Beast that Belle has left the castle. He's gonna know eventually, and he's going to go get her when Forte tries to stop him, or at least convince him not to leave.
Is the most important thing, my friend. You must be strong. You mustn't bend. Don't talk for hours. Don't send flowers. Don't write poems. Don't sing songs and dance beneath the stars that shine above.
I'm gonna give double naughty list points for this song. Not only is I'll take that back and I'll give it 1 because we've already established the creep factor, and if I awarded a naughty point for every single time there was something creepy in here, yeah, we'd be talking about that a long time. So I'm just going to go with, okay, still 2. 1 is Forte's music taking physical form. Can I believe that music can take, that music can have magical properties? Absolutely, music can be magic. There's a lot of good stories that work that in, and there's no reason Forte's music couldn't be magic, except why his and not Fife? Well, Fife is kind of a weaker character, so I can see why he wouldn't really use his that way. But it's almost like Forte was given this ability specifically for this reason, which seems weird, but I mean, it doesn't seem quite right for him to have a magical ability. He was an ordinary man before the transformation, at least as far as we know. And unless the enchanters gave him an extra magical ability, this just doesn't seem right. Now, another naughty point is for the form that the music takes. It takes the shape of evil little cupids, and they spend a while with the beast actually chasing them around, almost Tom and Jerry style, the way it's done. I mean, they could have had him, brushing them aside, trying to ignore Forte, but the way they do it, it just comes off as a little bit silly. And I mean, it wouldn't be bad if it was a Tom and Jerry cartoon, but for being a midquel of Beauty and the Beast, it just doesn't seem quite right to me. Maybe I'm being overly picky, but that's my thoughts on that. Now, of course, the Beast does go to get Belle, and it's a very, very good thing that he did, because after he goes after her, knowing that them falling in love is pretty much inevitable, Forte sends Fife out to stop them from getting together, and Fife causes a little accident where Belle ends up nearly drowning and freezing under the ice. Not good, and Forte regrets this almost immediately. But damage is done, and Beast thinks that Belle tried to leave him. Now, this leads to her being locked up in the dungeon again. Just like she was at the beginning. Well, not at the beginning, but at the beginning of her stay in the original. And the others come to visit her and try to bring her a little comfort. This leads to another song that, it's okay, it's not the greatest, but we get a little more of Cogsworth and Lumiere being at each other.
I don't need pudding. To each his own, my friend. You know how to get me stressed. But when it comes to making Christmas special, I'm a cut above the rest.
The song really isn't necessary, but it is still fun to see Cogsworth and Lumiere playing off each other. It always is. Now, the Beast has gone to the West Wing, and while I think of it, I'm going to give the movie a naughty point for that, because they forgot there was no pipe organ in the West Wing. Forte is there in this version. Or this midquel, I guess, because it's supposed to be the same version. But anyway, we see the West Wing before the events of this film. There was no pipe organ there, so they completely forgot that detail or chose to ignore it. Either way, I hate retcons. I hate when you take something that's established and you just decide to forget it just for the fact of, oh yeah, I'd rather this will work better without that, so I'm just going to forget that happened. No, I don't like that. So, naughty list point for retconning the look of the West Wing. The Beast is going to smash the rose, and as Forte encourages him to end his suffering by ending the curse and ending any chance that there would be hope of it being broken. If the last petal is off that rose, that's the end of it. There's no more chance. Of course, we know from the original that doesn't happen. So there isn't too much of a stress level there. Instead, when the beast goes to destroy the rose, he finds Belle's book that she wrote for him and he starts to read it.
Once upon a time, there was an enchanted castle. Its master seemed as cold as winter. Deep inside his heart was an anger.
Double nice list points for the story being written in French, which makes sense because it would have been their language. The story happens in France. And the other nice list point, the reason it's a double is because they have Belle be a decent writer, which makes sense because she's read a lot of books. She's going to know what makes for a good story, or at least what she would enjoy in a good story. And she shares that with the beast. Now he realizes how wrong he was, that she wasn't breaking her promise and leaving. She was just going to get a tree, she'd be right back, and she doesn't see him as a monster. There is still hope with her, and he goes to apologize, which is a big move, that he's willing to apologize to her. She, of course, accepts, and everything would have been happy ending there. Except Forte's not going to accept that. He's going to keep them from falling in love one way or another.
Fife, they can't fall in love if they're dead.
Forte completely loses any grasp on sanity. And I thought he was nightmare fuel before. Now, this leads to another naughty list point. Not for the creep factor this time, but for the lack of continuity. They haven't caused some serious damage to the castle. You see walls cracking, windows shattering. Major damage that we don't see in the castle at the end of the original. Is it possible that they repaired it? Yeah, but I don't really think that they would have those skills to repair that kind of major damage. If you got a big crack in the wall like they show here, beams broken, there's a divide in the floor that Belle has to take a broken beam, lay it across, and walk across to get to the beast. That's pretty heavy structural damage that I don't think that they're going to be able to fix. Now, is it visually impressive that, oh, now you decided to come by me, Marty? Decided to stop letting me get all the attention? You could have come up at any time, you know. But now that's major damage that they could not have repaired on their own. Especially not in their current forms. They just would not have been able to do it. So, naughty list point for lack of continuity. Now, in order to defeat him, the only way is to kill Forte. It's Fife who gives Beast the final advice saying you have to destroy the keyboard. And this leads to major, nth degree nightmare fuel. Holy crap. I mean, now if his music was just magic for being music before, it wouldn't seem like that coming out of him when he dies, I wouldn't think. That is just disturbing. That is not the way Beauty and the Beast should be. So, yeah. Major naughty list points for that. It's just, I think this one scene where they have to fight Forte and eventually kill him, I think that is the major reason why I don't care for this movie as much as some other holiday specials. It doesn't bother me as much anymore. It's still, it's not like when I was a kid, but it still takes away from the picture, I think. Apparently, it doesn't take away from anybody's Christmas at the castle because it shows that they all had a nice Christmas that year after Forte was destroyed. There's no mention of how the castle was fixed. There's no talk of what they did with, what was left of Forte because he collapses from the wall after that. So, yeah, there's a lot of unanswered stuff, and they just go on about their holiday like nothing had happened. They just had somebody who was part of the castle staff have to be killed by their master, and I don't blame the Beast. He did what he had to do to save everyone. So, no, I don't blame him for doing what had to be done. But there should have been a little more weight to the moment among the rest of the staff. Yes, he was evil, but they never thought of him as evil before. So, I don't know. I feel like there's something missing there. Granted, they probably don't want to put too much effort into it, and too much thought or focus on that into it on a kids movie, but after that scene, I think that ship sailed. It cuts back to present day where Mrs. Potts finishes up her story and concludes about just who exactly it was who did save Christmas.
It was. I suppose if anyone saved Christmas, it was Bill.
Belle saved that Christmas. We see that this Christmas is going really well. Obviously, Belle and Prince Adam are happily married together. We see everybody that we know from the first movie and people we met in this movie all together. And they're celebrating Christmas, and Fife has become the new court composer, so he got his reward for helping them in the end. And it all ends really nice with the Beast giving Belle a rose. Now, one detail from TVTropes.com that I kind of wondered about is they say that there's a change in Belle's figure, implying that she's pregnant. I didn't notice a change in her figure. To me, she looks as slender as ever. But the way she looks at him in the end, the way they look at each other, it could just be a look of deeply in love, or it could be a look of thinking about the future and what's going to happen with the new baby. It's not outright said, but the first time I watched it, I kind of wondered if there was a baby on the way. So maybe TV Tropes verified that. It's a good website, by the way, if you haven't checked out tvtropes.com. You can find a lot about your favorite movies, books, and all that there. They got pretty much every media you can research. A nice website to spend some time on. Now, this movie obviously got a lot more on the naughty list than the nice list. Being Christmas, I'll kind of cut it a break and I'll attribute all the naughty ones to Forte. I'll give it 2. 1 for Forte and 1 for lack of continuity, and I'll let all the other nice list ones stand. It's not anywhere near as great as the original Beauty and the Beast. I don't really mind watching it at Christmas time, but it's not the first Christmas story I'll go to. There are a lot of really nice moments where we see them together, where we see a little bit of love developing between Belle and the Beast. We see when she tries to give him a gift, we see when they're skating together a little bit. All in all, not horrible, not great. I'm going to give it 2.5 stars out of 5. I'll be that generous to it. Give it a try for yourself. See what you think of it. Let me know if there's any other Christmas fix that you would like me to get in by the end of December. There isn't a lot of time yet, but I could probably do a few short ones yet. So if you have any recommendations, let me know. I hope you all have the best holiday possible, and until next time, remember the magic.